All right, we are now live and on the record for Monday morning civil docket for March 21st, 2022. All right, Ms. Cerda.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Ms. Nereida Lopez Singletary. I apologize. I'm not sure what number I am on the docket. I don't see it here in her file. We're just requesting a quick reset on this case. I do have the cause number. The cause number is F-2799-21-9. The parties did file a Rule 11 agreement. I think it was filed this morning. They are set to mediate.
All right, that's number 30 on the court's docket. And do you know when that's set for mediation?
April 28th, 2022 at 1:30.
All right, let's come back on May the 2nd.
Okay.
And let's see if they're ready for approval.
Okay, perfect.
And that'll be at 9:30.
Okay. Thank you so much, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
All right, Mr. Alamia.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Number 7, F-4774-21-9.
Okay, in the matter of the marriage of Juliana Cortez and Eric Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to pass it. I think the couple is trying to reconcile.
Oh, okay. And how much time are you requesting, counselor?
I would say at least 60 days, Judge, if it's possible.
Okay. Let me see. Let's come back on May the 4th at 9:30 and see if they've been able to reconcile by that date.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Regalado.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Michael Guerra on number 27 on your docket.
Okay.
It's
CL
with
20.
Mr. Galvan. Sorry. Your
All
Honor.
right, CL 20-3322-I, who's Jose Humberto Ramos Rivera et al. Versus Andres Sainz et al.
Good morning, Your Honor. Carlos Galvan for plaintiffs.
Good morning. And what is the announcement?
Your Honor, my understanding is we still need to mediate the case, and then Mr. Guerra did file a motion to dismiss us to one of the plaintiffs because he has been unavailable for a deposition, but I don't believe that is set for today aside from just the status.
Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor. We have deposed the other plaintiffs and we are hoping to get this set for mediation.
Okay. What is so how much time do y'all need?
Your Honor, 60 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I have May 4th or June 22nd.
June 22nd, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, then I'll have y'all come back on June 22nd at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have this morning. May I be excused?
Yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I also have number 25 with Daniel Santos, but I don't know if he's on yet.
Okay, that's CL 172275-I, Erica, ERIKA Ortega versus Victor Bravo Salinas et al. All right, and what's the status on that?
My understanding on this one, Your Honor, is just that we need a trial setting.
Okay, have you all completed discovery?
Yes.
Good morning, Judge. I believe this is also my case. This is Ortega. I was just logging on.
Yes, that is your case.
Perfect.
And how about mediation?
Judge, we've been discussing, this is actually Michael Guerra. He was working on the file. I think, Jennifer, you're standing in, right, for Michael?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
We've gone back and forth. We're pretty close to trying to get this case resolved. But at the same time, doing it informally. I don't think there's a need for mediation because we're pretty close, but at the same time, either we can get another status hearing or a trial setting. And that way we can keep moving on the file.
All right. If you're going to need a trial setting, go ahead and file for a DCC and we'll get you set for a DCC.
Okay.
So otherwise, then you'll return on May the 2nd. But if your DCC is filed before that date, there's no need for a status.
May
Thank
2nd?
you, Your Honor.
Yes, May 2nd at 9:30.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
All right.
May I be excused as well, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Likewise. Okay, Ms. Rubio?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm number 18 on your docket today.
Okay,
It's a motion for substitute service. I didn't know if that was a quick enough announcement or if you wanted me to go ahead and wait.
no, that's fine. CL 21-4286-I. Actually, in reviewing this, Ms. Rubio, there's a motion to, there's going to be a transfer that is filed because when I was in private practice, I represented the defendant.
Okay.
So they should have already filed that. I don't know, Ms. Rivera, can you tell me?
Judge, it needs to be raffled out within the courts. So I'll be in contact with Noe Martinez, the coordinator for County Court 7, since Judge Sergio is the presiding judge right now.
Okay, so that'll be sent over for, to be put in the raffle and it'll get transferred over to another court.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. That's actually all I have. May I go ahead and be excused today?
Yes, you certainly may.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Gomez?
Good morning, Judge. I have number 22 on the docket.
All right, CCD 0596-I, Amadeo Cantu versus Allstate.
Yes, and I represent Allstate.
Yes, Judge Michael De Leon, on behalf of the petitioner in this case, Mr. Cantu.
Okay, and what is the announcement?
Well, we're set for a status today. We had depositions scheduled a couple months ago, and at the last minute, they had to be canceled. And so we're in the process of rescheduling that, and then we'll be able to mediate afterwards.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, so how much time are you requesting?
Do you think you can give us 60 days?
Yes,
Okay,
Judge.
I have May 4th or June 22nd.
If we can do June 22nd, that'd be appreciated.
Okay, anything else?
That's it, Judge.
Nothing further from the petitioner, Judge.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and see you back here on June 22nd at 9:30.
All right, thank you. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right. Ms. Flores?
Good morning, Judge. I have number 2 on the court's docket, F-19-21-9.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was Miss Willingham Flores, but okay. F-1999-21-9, in the interest of a minor child, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, in this case, the last time we were here, I believe Mr. Sergio Sanchez appeared. Mr. Ramos used to be on the other side. Now it's Mr. Sanchez. I actually had seen him in person a few weeks ago, asked him to reach out to me because it should just be, we've already gone to mediation. There's a mediated settlement agreement. So it should just be signing off on some documents, but he has not contacted me to be able to just get that done.
Okay. What I would say, since you have a mediated settlement agreement, if you will draft an order just reflecting that settlement agreement and file a motion to enter, and
Okay.
that way we can get that done.
Yes, Judge, I will.
Okay, and then on that motion to enter, go ahead and just do an order setting hearing for April 20th.
April 20th.
And that'll give him plenty of time to try to respond to you before that date. And if not, then I'll just enter it on that date at the hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, that'll be at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I be excused?
You
And sorry,
certainly
the other Mrs.
That's fine. All right, Ms. Willingham Flores.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I'm here on number 13, F 374729.
In the matter of the marriage of Aurelio Quesada and Angelica Quesada.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on behalf of Miss Angelica Quesada, but I'm just announcing that we did submit to the court an agreed order appointing a guardian ad litem. Ms. Williamson represents Mr. Quesada, and we did sign off on that order and file it with the court. And we would
Okay,
respectfully ask if the court would sign that so that we can send that to to Ms. Del Bosque.
okay, Ms. Rivera, have you seen that in the queue? Has that been sent back?
Judge, this is in the queue, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and sign off on it and then I'll send it off.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have this morning.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes, Your Honor. Number 29. Bank of America versus Vasquez.
CL 210889-I.
Yes,
And
Your
what is
Honor.
the announcement?
In this case, we had believed we had previously settled. However, the defendant has not returned any of the settlement documents. We're requesting that the case be retained and set for trial.
Okay, go ahead and file, is the defendant pro se then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll need to file a DCC and then we'll get that set. If they don't show up onto the DCC, then we'll give you a trial setting.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, I'm gonna set that tickler for April the 8th, just to make sure that you get that done.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Garza,
Good morning, Your Honor. Good to see you.
good morning likewise.
I have case number 26 on your docket.
CL 200636-I, Joe Robles versus Elvira Castro.
Correct, Your Honor. Bill Garza on behalf of the defendant. I got a text this morning from Mr. Sanchez, who's plaintiff's counsel. He is not going to be attending this morning. His flight is delayed or stuck in Mexico. So he just gave me permission to make the announcement today on behalf of both of us.
Okay, what attorney Sanchez, first name on that?
Chris Sanchez.
Okay, and what is the announcement then as far as the cases?
We just need a DCC to get the case set for trial.
Okay, so discovery's already been done in mediation?
Mediation's been done. Discovery of the parties have been done. The only thing that may need to be done are treating doctors and or experts that may be designated in the case.
Okay, then go ahead and file for a DCC and we'll get you set up.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna set a tickler for April the 8th.
Okay,
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
you too.
All right, Mr. Vega?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a case, I believe it's with legal aid. Are they on?
Ms. Sosa, I believe, is representing TRLA.
Right. Are they? Because my client's not, I haven't been able to get a hold of him, Judge. He's out of the country, I believe. At least I dialed his number months and months ago, and there's no response. I was told that he was out of the country, he wasn't coming back. But they were supposed to be on this morning and to push their divorce through.
I'm here, Your Honor.
There you go.
Okay, what number is that?
It's number 3 on the docket, Your Honor.
Okay, F 2335-20-9 in the matter of the marriage of Guillermo Sanchez and Maria Montalvo. And what's the announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like, we were set for this case a while ago. We haven't been able, like Mr. Vega said, Mr. Sanchez hasn't been in contact. He is not around, and we just wanted to be able to finalize the divorce.
Okay, and you're representing the respondent?
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Montalvo.
Okay, and did you file a counter petition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are there any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Vega, what are you asking? That, are you okay with it to move forward or did
Yes,
you?
yes, Your Honor. He has not made contact with me. I just want to stay on and see, so I'll write him another letter, and if we do make contact, I can file my appropriate paperwork, but I think we need to close. She needs to close this case out.
All right. Okay, and Ms. Sosa, do you have Ms. Montalvo on?
She should be on, Your Honor. I don't see her, but I wonder if that's the Zoom user perhaps.
All right, let me see. Maria Montalvo, are you present? Is she English speaking or Spanish speaking?
She's Spanish speaking, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda.
María Montalvo, por favor, se anuncia.
Sí,
Yes,
María Montalvo.
María Montalvo.
Okay, ask her to please raise her right hand.
Señora Montalvo, por favor, levanta su mano derecha.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí,
Judge, just, I can't, is it only me? I can't see her.
She's the Zoom user. I don't, on civil, she's on Zoom user?
But I don't see her face or her body.
Yeah, on civil, I don't require the respondents to
Okay.
put their camera on, only on criminal.
Okay.
Did you want to make sure it was her?
Yes, that's it. I just wanted to.
Okay. Ms. Castañeda, please ask Ms. Montalvo just to turn on her camera. They need to verify that it is her.
Señora Montalvo, por favor, puede prender su cámara. Quieren verificar su identificación.
Oh.
Yep. I can't see.
I think she's having issues with it, but
That's fine, Judge. Can we proceed then? If her own lawyer says that's her, we'll take her.
ask her if, is she having problems putting on the camera? All she has to do is click on that.
¿Está teniendo problemas prendiendo su cámara?
Y la prendo y no aparece, no
I
puedo
turn it on
mirar
and no
nada.
picture comes on.
I'm sorry, Ms. Castañeda, I didn't hear what you said. What?
That I'm pressing the button and no picture comes on.
Okay. And Ms. Sosa, to the best of your knowledge, is that your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So you may continue, Ms. Sosa, just go slowly, because usually if a divorce decree has been submitted, then the translator has something to go off of. But when she doesn't, you just need to go slow so she can translate it.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Montalvo, can you give me your full name, please?
Señora Montalvo, por favor, da su nombre completo.
María Montalvo.
María Montalvo.
And before this divorce was filed, have you lived in Hidalgo County for 90 days?
Y antes de que esta petición se metiera en la corte, ¿usted vivía en el condado de Hidalgo por los precedentes 60 días?
Sí.
Yes.
And had you lived in the state of Texas for 6 months?
¿Y en el estado de Texas por los precedentes 6 meses?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you currently married to Guillermo Sanchez?
¿Y ahorita usted está casada con el señor Guillermo Sánchez?
Sí.
Yes.
You and Mr. Sanchez were married on or about December 17th of 2002?
Usted y el señor Sánchez se casaron en diciembre 17, 2002.
Es diciembre 27.
December 27th.
Okay. And you and your husband separated on or about January of 2020?
¿Y usted y el señor se separaron como en enero del 2020?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you asking for a divorce on the grounds of cruelty?
¿Usted está pidiendo un divorcio por crueldad?
Sí.
Yes.
Did Mr. Sanchez have a history of being violent towards you during your relationship?
El señor Sánchez tenía la tendencia de ser violento en su relación.
Sí,
Yes.
And Mr. Sanchez also has a history of being violent towards your children?
Y él también tenía una historia de ser violento con los niños.
sí.
Yes.
Is there any chance of reconciliation with Mr. Sanchez?
¿Hay alguna expectativa de reconciliación?
No.
No.
How many children did you have with Mr. Sanchez?
¿Cuántos niños tuvo usted con el señor Sánchez?
5.
5.
And how many children are underage?
¿Y cuántos son menor de edad ahorita?
3.
3.
Can you give me their name and ages?
Por favor, nos puede dar los nombres y las edades.
Alondra es Jerry Sánchez, 17 años. Brianna
Alondra
Sánchez
Jasmine Sánchez is 17.
es Brianna Sánchez, 14 años.
Brianna Sánchez is 14.
Eduardo Sánchez, 8 años.
Eduardo Sanchez is 8 years old.
And are you currently pregnant?
¿Está usted esperando bebé ahorita?
No,
No.
Did you adopt any children during the marriage?
¿Ustedes adoptaron niños durante el matrimonio?
no,
No.
Are you asking the court to make you sole managing conservator of your children?
¿Está pidiéndole usted a la corte que la haga administradora exclusiva de los niños?
sí,
Yes.
And for Mr. Sanchez to be a possessory conservator based on his history of domestic violence?
¿Y que el señor Sánchez sea con consentimiento posesario?
sí.
Yes.
Ok,
Mr. Sanchez has not seen the children in over a year, correct?
El señor Sánchez no ha mirado a los niños en más de un año, ¿correcto?
sí.
Yes.
And you're asking that the court order no visitation at this time?
I'm sorry, Ms. Sosa, you cut off right in the middle of the sentence.
Are you asking that the court order no visitation at this time?
Y usted está pidiendo que la corte ordene no visitaciones a este tiempo, ¿correcto?
Correcto.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna go over the incidents of violence. Okay. On or about June of 2018, Mr. Sanchez began punching your son when he talked back to him, correct?
Como en junio del 2018, el señor Sánchez golpeó a su hijo cuando él le contestó para atrás, ¿correcto?
Sí,
Yes.
And when you intervened, he began to hit you as well?
Y cuando usted intervino, ¿le pegó también a usted?
sí.
Yes.
And the neighbors called the police?
¿Y los vecinos le llamaron a la policía?
Sí,
Yes.
Was Mr. Sanchez arrested?
¿Arrestaron al señor Sánchez?
sí.
Yes.
And on or about January of 2020, he slapped you across the face and injured your hand?
Y como en enero de 2020, él lastimó su mano?
Sí,
Yes.
On this date, your daughter intervened and your children were present, correct?
Y en esta ocasión su hija intervino y sus hijos estaban presentes, ¿correcto?
sí.
Yes.
Okay. Was there another incident in September at your place of business?
¿Y hubo otro incidente en septiembre en su negocio?
Sí,
Yes.
On that date, was he arrested?
¿Y en esa fecha lo arrestaron?
sí.
Yes.
Okay. Throughout this time, have the children stayed with you?
¿Y todo este tiempo sus hijos se han estado con usted?
Sí,
Yes.
As far as child support, are you asking that the court order child support in the amount of $341 each month based on the family code guidelines?
Y con la manutención de los niños, usted está pidiendo que la corte ordene manutención a 341 al mes.
Sí.
Yes.
And you want this to begin on April 1st of 2022?
¿Y quiere que comience el día 1 de abril 2022?
Sí.
Yes.
Are your children currently covered by Medicaid?
¿Sus niños ahorita tienen Medicaid?
Sí.
Yes.
And you're asking that I'm sorry, you're asking that he also pay medical cash child support of $150 each month?
¿Y usted está pidiendo que él pague el apoyo médico en 150 al mes?
Sí.
Yes.
And that any health care expenses not covered by Medicaid will be split 50-50?
Y cualquier costos médicos que no cubra, que se paguen 50% y 50%?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about the property now. You purchased a home in 2010?
¿Usted compró una propiedad en el 2010?
Sí.
Yes.
And that property is located at 3911 Cenizo Street in Mission?
Y esa propiedad está en el 3911 Cenizo Street en Mission?
Sí.
Yes.
And the property is in your husband's name only?
¿Y la propiedad está a nombre de su esposo solamente?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you owe any money on the home?
¿Se debe algún dinero en la casa?
Sí.
Yes.
And have you been paying on the home on your own?
¿Y está usted pagando esa cuenta a usted sola?
Ahorita no.
Not right now.
Okay. Are you asking that if the property be awarded to you, that the debt be also awarded to you?
¿Está usted pidiendo que la propiedad se le pase a usted y también la deuda?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you also have a 2018 Malibu vehicle?
¿También tiene un carro 2018 Malibu?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you asking that the court award this vehicle to you along with any debt?
¿Y también le está pidiendo a la corte que le otorgue este vehículo también con la deuda?
Está pagado.
It's paid for.
Okay. Are you asking that the court award this vehicle to you?
¿Y está pidiendo que la corte le otorgue este vehículo a usted?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you asking the court award to you all personal property and cash in your possession?
¿Y está pidiéndole a la corte que cualquier propiedad y dinero que usted tenga en su posesión se le otorgue a usted?
Sí.
Yes.
And that the court award to your husband all personal property and cash in his possession?
Y lo que él tenga en su propiedad y de dinero que esté en su posesión que se le otorgue a él?
Sí.
Yes.
Besides the debts that we discussed above, are you aware of any other debts you and your husband might have?
Aparte de las deudas que hablamos ahorita, ¿sabe usted de otras deudas que estén pendientes?
Solamente una propiedad que él compró, que está pagando.
Only another property that he bought that he's paying for.
Are you asking the court award to your husband any debts in his name?
¿Y usted está pidiéndole que cualquier deudas que él tenga en su nombre que él las pague?
Sí.
Yes.
And are you asking that the court award to you any debts that you may have in your name?
Y cualquier deudas que usted tenga en su nombre, usted las va a pagar.
Sí.
Yes.
Are you asking that the court grant a permanent injunction against your husband as requested in your petition?
¿Y usted está pidiendo que la corte le ponga un mandato permanente como usted lo pidió en su petición?
Sí.
Yes.
And are you asking that the court grant your divorce with all the provisions you've pled for?
¿Y usted está pidiendo que la corte le otorgue el divorcio con todas las provisiones que usted testificó?
Por favor, sí.
Please, yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Vega, do you have any questions of the respondent? Mr. Vega, do you have any questions of the respondent?
Sorry, Judge, I didn't take off my mute. Yes, ma'am, can you please give me your name again?
Señora, por favor, ¿puede decir su nombre otra vez?
María Teresa Montalvo.
María Teresa Montalvo.
Ms. Montalvo, your husband is Guillermo Sanchez?
¿Su esposo es Guillermo Sánchez?
Sí.
Where
Yes.
is he? Where is he today?
¿Y dónde
If you know.
está hoy?
Yo en mi casa.
I'm at my house.
No, your husband.
No, su esposo.
En el condado de Hidalgo.
In Hidalgo County.
Do you know, is he in jail or is he living in somewhere else?
¿Está en la cárcel o está viviendo en otra parte?
Está en la cárcel.
He's in jail.
Okay. Do you know why he has not been able to communicate with me?
¿Y sabe usted por qué él no se ha comunicado conmigo?
Dice que ha tratado de hablar, pero que no le corresponden, dijo él.
That he's been trying to call, but that no one responds. That's what he said.
Okay. Judge, yeah, I would ask for a brief continuance so I can run down to the jail. Because when I called or when I texted the number, they told me that he was in Mexico. So I don't know who answered. Maybe it was somebody that's related to him. I don't know. So I would just ask for a brief continuance. I could run down there, make sure the terms are good with him. And that it is accurate that he is about the assault allegations, and we can finish this in a week or two, Judge.
Okay, what, Ms. Sosa, what did you say, what was child support being asked to be sent at?
I was muted. I had 341, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so then I'll just give you a brief 1-week continuance. We'll come back on March the 30th at 9:30 a.m. I mean, everything that I heard was fair, but go ahead and speak with him and see if they'll let you talk to him.
I was more concerned about the uneven split of the residence, Judge, but that's fine. I'll get it done by the 30th.
Okay, so Ms. Castaneda, please let her know that Mr. Vega is going to contact her husband, which he is finding out just for the first time is incarcerated, and will return on March the 30th at 9:30 to conclude it.
Señora Montalvo, el
Mande.
señor Vega se acaba de dar cuenta ahorita que el señor está en la cárcel. So vamos a continuar este caso por una semana. Regresamos el día 30 de marzo a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Just to verify, can ask her what date of birth is her husband's?
Ms. Montalvo, ¿qué fecha de nacimiento es la de su esposo?
17 de mayo del 80.
May 17th, 1980.
Okay, just stay on. Ms. Rivera is gonna do a check to make sure that he's still here in Hidalgo County.
Your Honor, yes, he is. He is booked. He does have a felony case number as well, and he does have an ICE hold.
Okay, all right, so he'll be there for you, Mr. Vega, to go and speak to.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll take care of that.
I apologize. Judge, if Mr. Vega would like, the court could accommodate him as well as we've done in the past. Set him up on a Tuesday and have him up to prove up whatever he needs on a jail case date, if that's fruitful.
Why don't you go speak to him, Mr. Vega, and see if he wants to appear? If he does, we do the divorces for jail cases on our jail days, which is Tuesday afternoons. And if he does want to appear and testify for whatever reason, we can move him up to the 29th at 1:30. But just verify, just visit with him, please, as soon as possible and notify the court, and then we'll finalize the date.
Will do, Judge. Thank you so much for that.
All right. Okay, if nothing further, then you're temporarily excused until next week.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Castaneda, please let Ms. Montalvo know that she's excused until the next setting next week.
Señora Montalvo, se puede retirar hasta la próxima, que es la semana que viene.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, what do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I am here on, it looks like it's 21 on your civil docket. I believe it's F 5304-19-9.
Yes, in the matter of the marriage of Francisco Perez and Maria Delgado.
Yes, Judge, on that case, I'm making appearance because opposing filed a motion to withdraw, and that is what's set for today. This case, their client is incarcerated, and this is his third lawyer already on the case, if you allow this lawyer to withdraw. And we're set for trial May the 10th, Judge.
Okay, well, I don't have anybody here from their office. Let me see if someone's going to appear. Okay, Ms. Rivera, can you please Mr. Damian call and see if they're going to send someone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm not opposed, Judge, to the withdrawal because they've had a lot of problems with this person. As the court has also reset this case because the guy's in jail like 3 or 4 times. The only issue I have, Judge, is that my client always has to take the day off. She's a sole provider to attend. And if we're not going to go to trial on May the 10th, I'd like to know if we can need to give him additional time to see if he's going to hire another counsel so that we can let her know in advance so she doesn't have to miss work again.
Okay.
She's received absolutely 0 child support, Judge, all this time.
Okay. Well, let's see if they're gonna come on and.
Because we could have a DC, we could like reset it for a DCC or something, Judge, just to give him more time. That's just a suggestion, Judge.
Yeah, let me just see what they say as far as coming on. Just go ahead and wait.
Okay.
And then they should get a hold of somebody shortly.
All right, no problem.
Okay, give me 1 moment.
No problem.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Clark, what do you have?
Sorry, I kept getting knocked off of my Wi-Fi is acting up, so I apologize for that. I'm here on, I don't have your docket in front of me. I'm here on CL 213370-I, American Express versus Gerardo Sanchez.
Okay.
This is our motion for offer of service.
Yes, and then and go ahead, let me, on your motion for substitution of service, what is it? Is it that you all have not been able to get a hold of him? Is he avoiding service?
That is our belief, Your Honor. We verified he does in fact reside at the residence for a young lady at the household. We verified the car belongs to him through his license plate. We made 5 attempts, it looks like, to get him served, and he is, I think he's avoiding service, Judge.
Okay. All right, Gerardo Salceda. All right, the name being called out 3 times, and in reviewing the affidavit, I'm going to grant your motion for substituted service.
Excellent, Your Honor. I do appreciate that.
Okay, is there an order on file?
There should be an order on file, Judge. If not, I can get you one today, but there should be one there.
Yes, there was one filed on November 18th, so I'll ask for it to be forwarded.
I'm sorry?
There was one already filed, so I'll ask for it to be forwarded and I'll sign off.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Contreras.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Number 30 on your docket, Your Honor.
Okay. Number 30, I have that it's Catherine Perez and Nereida Lopez Singletary that are on that case.
Yes, Your Honor. We follow Rule 11, Your Honor. Ms. Perez used to be the attorney of record. Now I'm the attorney of record for the Kathleen Guerrero, Your Honor. But
okay.
We
yes,
follow
that
Rule
was
11. Yeah, yes.
That was reset to May 2nd at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome, sir.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Ms. Rivera, were you able to get a hold of anybody?
Yes, ma'am, Judge, they did say that they were going to advise Mr. Alvarez to get on Zoom.
Okay. There he is. Okay, Mr. Alvarez, I'm gonna recall the case F 5304-19-9 in the matter of the marriage of Francisco Perez and Maria Delgado.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're hearing your motion to withdraw. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Rodriguez was just stating that there's a setting for a final hearing via trial on May 10th.
Okay, Your Honor, I can send him a letter to, he's currently incarcerated at Hidalgo County Jail. I will send him notice of that date.
All right, so Mr. Rodriguez, what was your announcement on this?
Judge, no objection to the withdrawal. My only request is whether or not I should advise, we are going to go on May the 10th with or without a lawyer, since he is incarcerated and will be incarcerated for some time, or does the court want to just go ahead and set us up for another DCC?
No, we're gonna go ahead and stay with the May 10th. If he, Mr. Alvarez is gonna let him know about the setting, and if he represents himself, then he needs to file the appropriate motion for continuance, or we'll see if he asks for more time, but there wouldn't be able to do a DCC, because how can we get in touch with him in jail?
Okay.
All right, but we'll go ahead and keep that setting. Let him know, Mr. Alvarez.
I will send him a letter to the county jail judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, we'll see you on the 10th.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Adler. What do you have, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on motion to reconsider an umpire appointment in the Alvera matter. I have
What number?
it is number CL 213946-I.
Who's on the other side?
It is Mr. Blanking on his name, I apologize. Is Jose Gonzalez.
Okay, do y'all see what number that is on the docket?
Number 12, Your Honor.
Okay, is anybody here on behalf of Luis Olvera? All right, do you want to go ahead and see if somebody is going to appear? Or we can call and see if Mr. Gonzalez is going to appear, or send somebody to appear on his behalf. And I'll recall you shortly.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ramirez, what do you have? Attorney Daniel Ramirez.
Yes, good morning, Judge. Number 6 on your civil docket.
Okay, F 4741-20-9 in the matter of the marriage of Melissa Gonzalez and Gerardo Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am. I represent the petitioner, Melissa J. Gonzalez. This is going to be just approved by agreement, Judge.
All right, and has Mr. Gonzalez signed off on the decree?
Yes, he has, and I think he may be online, but I'm not sure. I know Ms. Gonzalez should be online.
Okay, Melissa Gonzalez, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and Gerardo Gonzalez, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. Let me have both of you raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Melissa Gonzalez, yes or no?
I do.
And Mr. Gonzalez, yes or no? Mr. Gonzalez, yes or no? You're on mute, sir.
I do. I do.
Okay, just go ahead and leave it unmuted. All right, Mr. Ramirez, go ahead with your questioning.
Thank you. Ms. Gonzalez, would you state your name?
Melissa Gonzalez.
Yeah, are you Melissa J. Gonzalez?
Yes, I am Melissa J. Gonzalez.
Okay, you're also known as Melissa Jean. That's what the J stands for, right?
That is correct.
Yes?
Yes, that is correct.
You're married to Gerardo Gonzalez?
Yes, I am.
You filed a divorce petition against Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, that is correct.
Prior to filing the divorce petition, you lived in Hidalgo County, Texas, for at least 3 months, and in the state of Texas for at least 6 months?
Yes, I did.
You filed a divorce petition against Mr. Gonzalez based on the ground that the marriage has become insupportable due to a discord or conflict of personalities between you and him. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that has destroyed the marriage relationship between you and Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Do you have any reasonable expectation of reconciling yourself with him? That is, going back to live back with him again?
Not at all.
Out of the marriage with Mr. Gonzalez, you have one son, Gerardo Gonzalez II, born April 26, 2017.
Yes, we do.
Did you and Mr. Gonzalez adopt any child during your marriage?
No.
Are you expecting a child right now?
No, sir.
You and Mr. Gonzalez have reached an agreement that as far as the conservatorship, that you be appointed sole managing conservator of your son, and Mr. Gonzalez will be the possessory conservator.
Yes, we have.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And as having the sole managing conservatorship, you will have the exclusive right to determine or to designate the primary residence of your son. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
You have also reached an agreement on the passport that you will have the sole authority and exclusive right to apply for the passport for your son.
Yes.
And on the visitation, Mr. Gonzalez will be able to see your son on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of each month, beginning at 9 a.m. and ending at 5 p.m. at a public place, which is the Whataburger, located at 100 East Edinburgh Avenue in Edcouch, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, with supervised visitation.
Okay, and no overnight visitation with him. Is that right?
That is correct.
And he's not going to be removing the child from Hidalgo County without the consent of you and him, of course.
Yes.
And he is not to take the child to Mexico without the consent of both conservators. Is that right?
That is correct.
And he is not to consume any illegal controlled substance or alcohol within 24 hours before a period of possession or visitation with the child. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
He's going to be giving you a 24-hour notice on each occasion that he will not be able to visit with his child. Is that right?
That he's going to contact me 24 hours in advance if he won't be able to.
Okay, I think I said it wrong. He's going to be giving you a 24-hour advance notice every time that he wants to visit with your child. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. As far as child support, you've agreed that Mr. Gonzalez will be paying $216 per month with the first payment beginning on April 1st, 2022.
Yes,
And as far as the medical, do you have your son on Medicaid?
yes,
And he's, Mr. Gonzalez is going to be paying cash medical in the amount of $57 each month, beginning with the first payment on April 1st, 2022.
yes,
Now, you and Mr. Gonzalez got married in 2017,
that is correct.
and in 2019 you separated, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And based on the term of separation, you and Mr. Gonzalez have agreed that he's going to be paying $6,696 as of March 21st, 2022.
Yes, it is.
And this is going to be paid by him at the rate of $100 starting on April 1st, 2022.
Yes,
You're also asking for a judgment in that amount of $6,696. Is that correct?
that is correct.
And if Mr. Gonzalez has not paid his child support, when he emancipates, his payment will go up to $300 per month. Is that right?
That is correct.
Any medical expense not covered by health insurance or any healthcare expenses that are not covered by insurance, they're going to be divided 50-50. Is that right?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
As far as the estate, community estate between you and Mr. Gonzalez, you're going to be keeping any personal property, any clothing, jewelry, other personal effects, any cash you may have in hand or in banks under your name, and the 2016 BMW. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And Mr. Gonzalez is going to be keeping any personal property he may have, any clothing, jewelry, other personal effects, any cash that he may have in hand or in banks under his name, and any vehicle that's in his name and in his possession. Is that right?
Yes, it is. That is correct.
Each one of you is going to pay any debts that you incurred after the date of separation. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
And you're also asking the court to confirm some separate property. It's real property located at 303 North Llano Grande in Edcouch, Texas. And this is property that you had before marriage. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
You're also asking that your name be changed to your maiden name of Melissa J. Delgado. Is that right?
Yes,
And you're asking also for a divorce. Is that right?
that is correct.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. And any questions of Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor. I do have a question, several questions. Me paying child support and me being supervised, I think I disagree on that point. I have not been able to see my child since 2019, February 2019. And I would like to go ahead and get to be a father to him and have my rights and take him places to the zoo, stuff like that. And me being supervised, I don't think it's right. You know, I would like to go ahead and buy him his little things and stuff like that. And
Okay, so Mr. Ramirez, obviously it's not agreed to. So Mr. Gonzalez, are you gonna be hiring an attorney or do you want an
yes,
opportunity?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Ramirez will be receiving a letter from Rene Flores, the attorney that I'm gonna retain. I would like to go ahead and go over it and get it over with my divorce. I would like to go ahead and get my divorce. So I would like to go ahead. I'm not fighting anything. I was not allowed to go ahead and get none of my clothes since the day that I
Okay,
left from
hold
there.
on. Well, I would have appreciated you telling me that at the beginning before Mr. Ramirez spent time having to question his client. He was under the assumption that you were going to agree to this, but you're not, and you're hiring.
You know what, ma'am?
If you're gonna hire,
go
Mr. Gonzalez, if you're hiring Mr. Flores, is he going to be filing a notice of appearance?
Look, ma'am, let's just go ahead and get the divorce over with. I'm gonna agree to it and I could go ahead and modify my child support later on.
Well, that's difficult for me to do, especially since you just stated that you were not comfortable with the terms of the visitation, possession, and access. So if you're not comfortable with doing that the way that it is, and I do suggest that you retain legal counsel, because it's not as easy to modify that part as you think.
Let's just go ahead and go over it, ma'am. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and do the divorce. Let's go ahead and go. I'll agree with it. Okay. Until later on, if something changes her mind, that I'll be able to allow to go ahead and for him to stay overnight with me, and then it will be fine.
How many children is this?
Just one.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, how old is the child?
The child is 4, Your Honor. The child judge also has autism.
Okay.
He's speech delayed. He can't talk. He's got to be, right now, Ms. Gonzalez has to feed him. And so there's some physical limitations that the child has.
What was the child support amount?
It's based on minimum wage right now, Judge, $216.
200 and what?
216.
Okay, and Mr. Gonzalez, you have a problem with paying 216?
Not at all, ma'am.
Well, you said you were gonna modify your child support, so what was the issue with the child support?
No, the visitation, ma'am.
Oh, visitation. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to spend time with him, ma'am. I would like to take him to the zoo. I know the conditions that he has, ma'am. Okay?
So then that's why I'm asking you, do you want to, time to hire your attorney? But you're saying you want to move forward. So which is it?
Let's move forward. Let's go ahead and move forward, ma'am. Let's move forward, Miss Ocaña.
And is anybody forcing you to move forward today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So Mr. Ramirez, go ahead and question Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, Mr. Gonzalez, you heard the testimony of Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
And you agree with it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you understand, Mr. Gonzalez, that the exchange, the place where you're going to be visiting your son is at that Whataburger that she testified about. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that before you visit with a child, you give her a 24-hour advance notice that you're going to be showing up. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you agree with that? That way, Ms. Gonzalez and your son are not going to be there just waiting for you. In other words, you're not going to show up. So you need to give her at least notice that you are going to be visiting. You understand what I'm asking you?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Is she gonna be there present too? Or is it just me and my son? And with somebody supervising?
Well, the way it should work is Ms. Gonzalez is going to be there, or she's going to designate somebody, a
Okay.
competent adult, to be there.
I do have an issue with that. With supervision, I don't have an issue with supervised visits when it's necessary. However, her getting to pick who supervises is, not the greatest idea unless what's the situation with respect to that? Is it that you're saying that, or you're asking for her to be the one designated to designate the person that's supervising this, because then that person who's supervising it knows how to deal with the child?
Judge, let me ask Ms. Gonzalez if she is the only one that wants to supervise, because it was either her or somebody that she designates. But Ms. Gonzalez, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you the one that's going to be supervising?
Yes, I will.
Okay. And instead of anybody else?
That is correct.
And why is anybody else not able to supervise? I have an issue with you supervising because y'all are getting divorced for a reason. So
I understand. The reason to that is because my son is autistic. He is not used to anybody else but myself.
okay. Mr. Gonzalez, and do you have an issue with Ms. Gonzalez supervising?
The thing is that I mean, if she has an issue of not meeting not letting me being around, if she would let me go ahead and get to know my son, I mean, I don't think that would be necessary, ma'am. But I mean, if we could get a peace officer to go ahead and do the supervision, would be great.
No, peace officers don't do supervisions. You can hire a person to do the supervision, but since your son is special needs, that is different. Now, when were these visits going to start?
Well, Judge, it's first, third, and fifth Saturday of the month.
Okay. What we're going to do, the first visit then looks to be April 2nd, correct?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
at what time was that visit going to occur?
From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So all day long, a couple that is in the middle of or just got divorced is going to be together from 9 to 5 with a child that's special needs.
Well, Judge, they're both adults and they're doing it for the son, right?
I understand that, but the thing is like, let's be realistic. A child in this situation, 9 to 5, you can't just keep them at a Chuck E. Cheese for a whole day. There's things that you need to do. And autistic children are used to routine and they need routine. Now, where on the spectrum is your child, Ms. Gonzalez, if you're comfortable saying it?
I am not comfortable saying it. But Your Honor, I do want to mention to you, we have been separated for over 3 years. So I do not have a conflict.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try out a temporary visit before we make this permanent, because I wanna see how it goes. So the first visit's gonna happen on April 2nd, and then I want for you all to return on April the 4th at 11 a.m. And I wanna see how that visit went. And then we'll either continue with the finalizing or we'll see what we're gonna do, but I just want to make sure that that's gonna work out, because you're talking about a child with special needs and a whole day. I'm curious as to how you all are gonna make that productive for the child. So I'm gonna give you all an opportunity. So we'll do that on April the 2nd, and then we'll come back on April the 4th at 11. And let's see how it goes, okay?
Okay.
Before we commit to this permanently. So you're temporarily excused, Mr. Gonzalez, until that time?
Judge, Your Honor,
Yes.
and I'm just looking at my calendar, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm going to be having a trial starting at 8:30 in the 398th. I don't know if I'll be, and I'm going to be in person.
Oh, okay.
And so that'll be complicating my Zoom hearing with this court. Could it be on the, could we do this on the 5th or the 6th?
Yes, we can do it. Hold on. Yes, we can do it on the 6th.
All right.
At 11.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we'll see you all on April the 6th at 11th, and I'm hoping for a productive visit with the child.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Y'all are temporarily excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Ms. Paredo, what do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I have an agreed divorce, F5197219. I'm here on behalf of petitioner Gloria Villanueva, and she is present in my office, Judge. She does need the services of an interpreter.
Okay, and is the decree been signed by all the parties?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Rocha filed or signed the waiver of service, and he had notice of today's hearing. However, he did not want to appear. But yes, I submitted the signed decree, Judge.
Okay, this is number 8 on the court's docket. Ms. Castañeda, please ask Ms. Villanueva to raise her right hand.
Señora Villanueva, por favor, levanta su mano derecha.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí, lo juro.
Yes, I swear.
Okay, you may proceed.
Ms. Villanueva, can you please state your complete name for the record?
Señora Villanueva, por favor, diga su nombre completo.
Gloria Edith Villanueva.
Gloria Edith Villanueva.
Okay, and before filing your petition for divorce, you lived in Hidalgo County at least 90 days and in the state of Texas for at least 6 months, is that correct?
Y antes de meter su petición para el divorcio, usted vivía en el condado de Hidalgo por los presidentes 90 días y en el estado de Texas por los presidentes 6 meses, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And you married Mr. Juan Carlos Rocha on or about August 15th of 2002 and separated from him on or about September of 2016. Is that correct?
Y usted se casó con el señor Rocha el 15 de agosto del 2002 y se separó como en septiembre de 2016, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
Is there any chance of reconciliation with Mr. Rocha?
¿Hay alguna oportunidad de reconciliación con el señor Rocha?
No.
No.
Okay, and there is one child who was born from this marriage who's under the age of 18. Is that correct?
Y hay un menor de edad que nació de este matrimonio menor de 18 años, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And what is the name of the child and date of birth?
¿Y qué es el nombre del niño y la fecha de nacimiento?
Amaury Suriel Rocha, julio 1 del 2008.
Amaury Suriel Rocha, July 1st, 2008.
And
okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Barreto. Can she please spell it out for my court reporter?
Yes,
spell
Judge.
the name of the child.
I can spell it, Judge. It's A-M-A-U-R-Y, Zuriel, Z-U-R-I-E-L, Rocha, R-O-C-H-A.
Thank you. You may proceed.
And it's the agreement of the parties that you will have the primary custody and Mr. Rocha will have standard visitations. Is that correct?
Y es el acuerdo que usted va a tener la custodia primaria.
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And with regards to child support, it's been agreed that Mr. Rocha will pay the monthly sum of $750 for child support, and this includes the medical. Is that correct?
Y para la manutención del niño va a ser 750 y esto incluye lo médico también, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And are you currently expecting a child with Mr. Rocha or anyone else?
¿Y en este momento está usted esperando bebé con el señor Rocha o de cualquier otra persona?
No.
No.
And with regards to community property, you both have agreed that you will stay with the house located at 2220 Brock Street. That's BROCK Street in Mission, Texas. Is that correct?
Y al completo de la comunidad, la propiedad comunitaria, usted se va a quedar con la propiedad en el 2220 Brock Street en Mission, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Rocha is going to stay with the LLC that is called Arts and Pools, and you will no longer have any interest in that company. Is that correct?
Ms. Barreiro, what is the name of the company?
Arts, ARTS, IN, Pools, POOLS.
Y la propiedad de LLC Arts and Pools se va a quedar con el señor Rocha, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Rocha will also claim any debts that exist under that company and release you from any liability. Is that correct?
Y el señor Rocha también se va a quedar con cualquier deudas de esa compañía y usted no va a tener deudas con esa compañía, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And it's further been agreed upon that there will be no harmful contact, harassment, or threats by Mr. Rocha to you or the children. Is that correct?
Y también es que el señor no va a tener ningún contacto nocivo ni amenazas contra usted y el niño, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And once the child, Amaury, ages out, Mr. Rocha will continue paying you a monthly sum of $750 until Amaury completes his education. Is that correct?
Y cuando Amaury ya complete la edad, como el señor como quiera le va a seguir pagando los 750.
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Rocha will also pay you an additional monthly sum of $750 for your adult daughter, Nayeli Edith Rocha, who is 19, until she also completes her education.
Y el señor también va a pagar otros adicionales 750 para Nayeli Edith Rocha hasta que ella termine su educación también, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And with regards to child visitations, there will be a geographic restriction wherein the children cannot leave Hidalgo County without written permission. Is that correct?
Y con la visitación va a haber una restricción geográfica que los niños no pueden salir del condado de Hidalgo, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And with regards to vehicles, you will stay with the 2016 Audi, and Mr. Rocha will keep his 2019 Toyota as well as the company vehicles.
Y con lo que construye a los vehículos, usted se va a quedar con el Audi 2016 y él se va a quedar con la Toyota 2019 y los vehículos de la compañía, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
In regards to debts, Mr. Rocha has agreed to accept all debt that exists within the marriage under his or your name, and this includes, but is not limited to, loans he requested for the company, as well as any credit card debt.
Y tocante a deudas, el señor va a quedar con las deudas del matrimonio y cualquier deudas del negocio, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And you're asking the judge to grant this divorce today?
¿Y usted le está pidiendo a la corte que le otorgue el divorcio hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Judge, I have no further questions and respectfully ask the court to grant the parties divorce.
Okay, and she's not needing a name change, correct?
No name change. No necesitas cambiar tu nombre, ¿verdad?
No.
No, Judge.
Okay, then the court is granting the relief requested as testified to on the record and dissolving this marriage. And I'll go ahead and ask for that decree to be forwarded to my queue, and I'll sign off on it as soon as it comes to me, okay?
Thank you, Judge. That's all we have. May we both be excused?
You certainly may. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, Judge, good morning.
Good morning. What do you have, sir?
I have an agreed to divorce. The parties are both available.
Okay, is that Maria Alonso and Jose Valdez?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, F 5404-21-9. And can I have do any of them need the services of an interpreter?
They both speak English, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Alonso and Mr. Valdez, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Alonso?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Valdez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Guerrero, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Alonso, are you currently the petitioner in the divorce number F 5404-21-9?
Yes, sir.
You're currently married to Jose Fernando Valdez, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And prior to filing this divorce, were you living in Texas 6 months and also in this county for 90 days?
Yes, sir.
And obviously, Mr. Valdez did not need to be served because he filed a waiver, is that correct?
I'm sorry, I couldn't, it broke out.
Your husband filed a waiver, meaning he agreed
Yes.
to without having to be served, right?
Yes.
And you were married on April 3rd, 2004, and you ceased to live as husband and wife as of January 6th, 2009. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
And you're seeking a divorce because your marriage has become insupportable because of discord and conflict of personalities that defeats the legitimate ends, and there's no expectation of reconciliation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 2 children in your marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to just give the initials. There's AGV that was born in 2004. Is that your child?
Yes.
Okay. And there's also KAV that was born in 2009. Is that also your child from this marriage?
Yes.
Okay. Are you expecting any other children from this
I'm
marriage?
sorry. The second one, you said 2008 or 2009?
I said 2008.
Oh, yes, that's correct. And no, we don't have any, not expecting any other children.
You and Mr. Valdez have entered into an agreement regarding visitation and child support. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And you've become joint management conservators of both of your children. Would that be a correct statement?
Yes, sir.
And you will be having primary custody of your children. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you'll determine where they're going to live. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Now, insofar as child support, you and Mr. Valdez have agreed that the amount payable in child support would be $630 per month, beginning on or April 1st, 2022, and being made payable the first of each month. Is that your agreement?
Yes, sir.
And you also agree that insofar as the medical support, Mr. Jose Fernando Valdez will be responsible for providing the insurance for your children.
No, sir. I will be providing medical and dental insurance.
Then I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Then you've also, let me see, you've already agreed also that insofar as your marital estate, you're going to keep all the items in your possession as your sole and separate property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And likewise for Mr. Fernando Valdez, he's supposed to keep his personal property as his separate property. In other words,
Yes,
right? Is that correct?
that's correct.
And and you're not looking for a name change, right, man? I'm asking you. Maria, you don't need a name change, right, Maria? You never took on your husband's name, right, Maria?
No.
And you want this judge to grant you a divorce?
Yes.
At this point, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, so, Mr. Valdez, you're technically representing yourself, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions of your wife, Ms. Alonso?
No, no question.
All right, Mr. Guerrero, do you have any questions of Mr. Valdez?
Yes, a real brief. Mr. Valdez, you had a chance to hear everything that was put on the record by question and answer. Is that correct, Mr. Valdez?
That's correct.
And are you in agreement with everything that your wife stated on the record?
That's correct. I'm
And
agreed.
you, in fact, have had a chance to review a final decree of divorce that we had you sign. Is that correct, Mr. Valdez?
That's correct.
And you have no objection to that final decree of divorce to be the final order divorcing you and your spouse?
No, sir.
Then at this point, I pass the witness, Judge. We have a final decree of divorce that both of them reviewed in my office and they signed. I signed and it was uploaded today. It might not be in the queue yet, but that's the divorce decree we'd like the court to sign.
Okay, then the court is dissolving this marriage and granting the divorce and the relief as requested and testified to by the parties on the record. As soon as that decree hits my queue, I'll go ahead and sign it and it'll be sent back to Mr. Guerrero.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, best of luck to y'all.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you, you're excused. All right, Mr. Ramos?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on number 5 on your civil docket.
Okay. It's F 4733-21-9 in the interest of Derek De Los Rios Jr.
Yes, Your Honor, and Attorney Dennis Ramirez is the opposing counsel for the petitioner in this matter.
Okay, and are you all ready for a final hearing?
Well, Judge, we were intending to file an agreed order. We're still working through that order, Judge, and I was going to make that announcement on behalf of both parties. I had conferred with Mr. Ramirez this morning, but I believe he's in another hearing. And so we're going to submit that order, Judge, with also a statement of facts and proceed to finalize the case. We're pretty close, Judge.
Okay, so how much time are you requesting?
Judge, if we can have 30 days.
Let me see. April the 20th? Or May the 2nd?
April the 20th will be perfect, Judge.
Okay, at 9:30. All right, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. May we please be excused?
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you. Mr. Davis?
Yes, good morning, Judge. I'm here on number 19 on your docket.
F 4819-21-9 in the matter of the marriage of Mariana Robles and Jose Garnica.
Yes, Judge, I represent Ms. Robles, and we filed a motion for alternative service, asking the court to approve service by publication.
Okay,
It's a divorce, obviously, with children, the whereabouts. My client filed an affidavit with the motion. She doesn't know the present whereabouts of her husband or have any real idea where he may be as far as an address or anything.
okay. So what I need for you to do, Mr. Davis, is please file an order for an ad litem to be appointed to Mr. Garnica, so that
Okay.
we can go ahead and make sure that everything's been done and then do the publication, the posting by publication.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do that.
And then I'll go ahead and set a tickler for April the 8th for you to do that.
Yes, ma'am, we'll have it done.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before we get to the contested motion to reconsider, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here on number 23, CL 15-1106I.
Okay, Lord and Gonzalez versus Ignacio Perez et al. Was Mr. Godinez appearing today?
I have not been able to reach him, Your Honor. He may be in another court. I also, the issue that's been here is that Elsa Perkle didn't have an attorney, and she was asking for time to get an attorney, but I don't see her on the Zoom either.
I don't
Honor,
either.
if I may.
Go ahead.
So Mr. Ignacio Perez called this morning saying that Mr. Godinez had not called him. So he was asking for the Zoom information or a phone number to call in for the court hearing.
Okay, but he's represented by counsel. The one
Yes.
that's necessary is Ms. Perkle. Ms. Perkle has been representing herself. And she's not on, and I gave her time to find someone. But I don't know, Mr. Moreno, how do you want to proceed? We're here for a status conference today.
Right. Your Honor, when I talked to Mr. Godinez, he was going to talk to Ms. Perkle about representing her. Somebody in his office told me he isn't representing her, but I have not confirmed that with him. Your Honor, I think it'd be best to reset the hearing. I will get an order in so it can be sent to everybody. The last time I don't think I was on the hearing and there was no order made, so it was only what was done during the court hearing. But I think it'd be better if we did something in writing so that people have a paper to how to get to the hearing and what date it is and everything.
Okay, go ahead and set it for April the 20th at 9:30.
April 20th. Yes, ma'am.
And then you can circulate that order.
Okay, just let me check my calendar, Your Honor. May 20th, right?
April
20th, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm clear on that day, Your Honor. I will go ahead and get that order submitted today.
Okay.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Williamson, what do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have a case with Mr. Bustos. I think we might have come to an agreement, but I've been talking to him. I don't see him logged on. Let me have him log on, Your Honor.
Okay.
If you'd like to recall us after your following case.
Sure. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, Attorney Ben Gutierrez.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Ben Gutierrez on behalf of Crown Asset Management and Portfolio Recovery, Your Honor. Ready to proceed on two motion for default judgments.
Okay, that's CL 201112-I Crown Asset Management versus Nelly Villa. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, we're asking for general damages in the amount of $7,798.66 plus court costs and post-judgment interest. We're asking the court take judicial notice of the entire file. Therein, there's a business records affidavit from Christy Macinishwitz that attests to the fact that there was this account delinquency in the account and created ground for the redress we're seeking. This has to do with the K Jewelers line of credit ending in 9822. It began back in May of 2017. The defendant was served personally the suit at the same address the statements were going to. We have the certificate of last known address and military status affidavit for the court's consideration, Your Honor.
Okay, the court is taking
Hey,
judicial
can you open the
notice
front door? The cleaning
of
people
all
are there.
hold on.
Okay, bye.
The court is taking judicial notice of all the documents in the court's file, specifically the service that was returned and served on March 17, 2020. And has been on file with the court for the required number of days. And the court is granting the relief as requested on the record. And there is an order on file from June 25th, 2020, and I'll ask for that to be forwarded. All right, and you're also here on number 16. I have Attorney Scott Dalrymple also here on that one.
Your Honor, I'm here for the plaintiff on number 16.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed her. Let me finish with Mr. Gutierrez. He was number 14 and 15. I took up number 15. All right, number 14, CL 164364-I, Portfolio Recovery versus Ileana Rocha. Ileana Rocha. Go ahead, name being called out 3 times and no response.
Yes, Your Honor. Benjamin Joseph Gutierrez on behalf of Portfolio Recovery. We're asking for general damages in the amount of $978.71 plus court costs and post-judgment interest. We're asking that the court take judicial notice of the entire file and see. 1 second, Your Honor. My apologies.
I can recall you, Mr. Gutierrez, if you'd like.
Please, Your Honor.
All right, number 16, CL 213343-I, Discover Bank versus Maria Boteo.
Yes, Your Honor. I represent Discover Bank. It's a breach of contract case for a personal credit card. And we have a motion for default judgment.
Okay, Maria Boteo. Okay, no response. You may proceed.
Okay, we filed our petition on September 30th and served the defendant in person on October 2nd of last year. Return service has been on file with the court since October 13th. We filed our motion for default judgment on January 4th and served the defendant through regular mail. And we filed a notice of today's hearing on February 10th and served the defendant through regular and certified mail. And the certified mail has been delivered per the USPS website on March 7th. We're asking, our motion includes a business records affidavit signed by Jennifer Plagueman, who's representative Discover, along with the card member agreement and a balance matching statement from May of 2020, which is when the account was charged off. We're asking for damages in the amount of $3,183.65, post-judgment interest at the statutory rate of 5% and court costs of $370.15.
Okay, the court is taking judicial notice of all the documents in the court's file, specifically the service that was returned served. That's been on file with the court since October 13th, 2021. And the court is granting the relief as requested by the plaintiff. The order that was filed on January 4th, 2022 will be forwarded to my queue. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, we had one more. It's number 20.
CL 212214-I, Discover Bank versus Arnold LeCount.
Yes, Your Honor, we represent Discover. I'm not sure why it says Andrew Smith represents the defendant. He's another attorney in our office. There is an attorney on the case, but that's kind of the issue. We reached an agreement with him, but we never got the settlement documents back. One of the settlement documents we sent are Rule 11 agreed judgment. So we have a motion for summary judgment that we would like the court to consider.
I don't have anyone on the others. I don't have a notice of appearance for the defendant. Oh, hold on. Mr. Green out
Yes,
of
Your Honor.
Keller, Texas.
Yes, that is the opposing attorney.
And you've had no contact with him.
Oh, we've had not since we've been trying to get the settlement documents back.
Okay, so the motion for summary judgment was filed back on December 2nd, 2021, and no response has been filed. And sufficient notice. Okay, and sufficient notice has been given to the defendant and his attorney. So go ahead, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Our motion includes a business records affidavit signed by Miranda Harris, who's a representative Discover, along with the card member agreement and every statement mailed to the defendant starting from December 2016 through a balance matching statement from April 2020, which is when the account was charged off. We're asking for summary judgment because our evidence is more than sufficient to establish that Discover had a valid contract with the defendant. Defendant's in breach of that contract due to non-payment. Defendant hasn't raised a single genuine issue of material fact and has not filed a response to our motion. We're asking the court to grant us a judgment of $2,916.98, post-judgment interest at 30 to 5%, and court costs of $370.15. When we filed our motion, we also filed a proposed judgment, but that judgment is a little bit higher than what we're asking for because there's a payment made. Again, the problem isn't really that that he's not making the payments. It's just we want a judgment, and they haven't returned the agreed judgment or the rule. Or the rule of it.
So you need to submit an order granting the summary judgment with the correct amount?
Yes, Your Honor. We intend to do that hopefully today.
Hold on. All right. Okay, go ahead and file your order granting, and also state on there that they did not appear, nor did they file a written response.
Okay.
And of course, cite the proper authority with respect to not filing the response. So, okay. Go ahead and submit that, and then I'm going to give you till April the 8th to do that.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I just wanted to clarify. So you are granting our motion?
The court is taking judicial notice of all the documents in the court's file, specifically that an answer was filed on behalf of the defendant by their attorney. There is no answer on file. The court is granting the summary judgment motion for plaintiff.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe excused.
Yes, you certainly may.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I see that I saw that Mr. Bustos was on. I don't know if he's still around. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Williamson and Mr. Bustos. I'm gonna recall your case. And what number was that again?
Your Honor, it is number
31, Judge.
Okay. I'm gonna recall F5192-21-9 in the interest of a minor child. Go ahead.
Your Honor, Hector Bruce on behalf of the petitioner, Judge Mrs. Crystal Hidalgo, and I believe we have an answer for this court.
Yes, Your Honor, Lucy Williamson here on behalf of Mr. Roberto Trevino. And this is on our motion for temporary orders. And I do believe we have the following agreement, Your Honor, if I can read it into the record.
Yes, ma'am.
The parties are to be appointed joint managing conservators, with mom being the primary managing conservator with the right to designate the residence of the child within Hidalgo County. Father and mother have an agreement as to visitation. The child is young. It is every Monday from 6 to 8, and every Thursday from 6 to 8, and every Saturday from 10 to 4. No overnights, Your Honor, at this time. And that this is to continue until we return before this court. He will pay child support based on the child support guidelines. Mr. Bustos and I will review those numbers with the Attorney General's office with a variance for 3 other children, which Mr. Trevino has. Your Honor, we are asking just for the regular restraining order language, no disparaging remarks in the presence of the child. It's still a young child, but We want to make sure that nothing negative happens around the child. Any communications between the parties needs to be concerning the child, no harassing each other in any way. And I believe that's the extent.
Yes, Judge, my client just called me, Judge, that if all parties, and which is necessary, all parties have car seats and all the essentials in terms of
Absolutely.
taking care of the child.
Okay. Then the court is granting the agreement as read into the record, and that is for temporary orders. So with the outstanding issues that you have, will those be able to be worked out? Will you be attending mediation?
Your Honor, I believe this is something that we will be able to work out, Your Honor.
Okay, so how much time are you requesting until the final hearing?
6 weeks, Your Honor. I think that way it'll give us 6 to 8 weeks to see how this visitation goes.
Okay, May 2nd at 9:30.
Very well, Judge.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much, Your Honor, and I will prepare an order for Mr. Bustos' review.
Okay, and just make sure everyone signs off on it.
Maybe excuse
Yes.
Your Honor?
Yes, y'all may be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Will you have Gabriel? What case are you here on, sir?
I'm here for a divorce.
Okay. And your name is Gabriel what?
Flores?
Okay, and I see that Abelina Flores.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you all are representing yourselves?
No. Avelina is on the other side.
Yes, but do you all have attorneys?
We're representing ourselves.
It is for F5519219.
Okay, one moment. So y'all do not have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you had the 2003 Chevy Silverado before your marriage? Mr. Flores?
Yes, that's correct.
And Miss Flores, you owned the home at 205 North 13th Street in Donna prior to your marriage?
It was purchased during our marriage. I'm hoping that it will stay with me.
Okay, well, it says that you received it as a gift or inheritance.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We did this, on our own, and they told me just to fill out whatever we could, and that you would let us know what.
Mr. Flores, do you have any objection to her staying with the home?
No, ma'am.
Okay, is there a mortgage on the home, Miss Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have been paying that mortgage?
Yes.
Is that home under both of your names?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Mr. Flores, are you asking that your name be removed from that home?
Yes, ma'am.
So how much time are you gonna give Mrs. Flores to try to remove your name?
We are both in an agreement. As much time as she takes, I'm just, releasing the house to her. I want for her and her daughter to have a house, a place to live in.
Okay, while that is admirable, you do have to take into consideration that Ms. Flores, or what are y'all gonna do if Ms. Flores falls behind on the payments?
It's gonna be my responsibility.
I understand that, but the only way to get Mr. Flores's name off of the property is to do a refinance. And so, but if in the meantime, it stays on his credit. So therefore, it's going to affect him if you are late. So if you end up being late on the home, do you all have any kind of like fallback plan, such as putting the home up for sale or what are y'all gonna do in the case if the payments are behind?
Yes, if need be, yeah, we will do that. The first thing that you said.
Okay, so how much time are you all needing to, or are you needing, Ms. Flores, to refinance the home under your name only?
I didn't know that that's what I had to do. What is the maximum amount allowed?
No, the law doesn't say. It can be whatever you all decide.
I just would like to say something that we are both in agreement. If I could help, if she can help out, I mean, whatever time she needs, I'll help her out.
I understand that, but okay, so it doesn't matter to you if it's not an enforceable decree? In other words, that's what I'm saying. There's gotta be definitive things that happen in there. For example, Ms. Flores has 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, whatever it is to try to refinance the home. If she doesn't refinance the home in that time period, then it has to be sold. If she doesn't do that, and nobody's gonna care except for you, if you even care at that time. But there's gotta be enforceable language so that in case something doesn't happen, you have the paper that you need to enforce it against her. You know what I mean? So that's why you all have to decide how much time it's gonna take, how much time you're gonna give her to refinance, number one.
Okay, can it be an amount of years?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, can I have 20 years?
Well, that's unreasonable. To refinance a
10?
home, honestly, we hardly even go past a year. You either can qualify or you can't qualify. That's it.
Okay, well.
But
yeah,
I don't care what you all do. It's like, if we say a year, we say 24 months, and you don't do it in 1 or 2 years, nobody's gonna come back, and I'm not gonna come back and tell you, hey, you didn't refinance it. It's gonna be up to Mr. Flores. If he doesn't do anything about it, nobody's gonna care. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. I won't put 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. I won't do that.
So you're saying that if I ask for a year, and if I don't do it within that year, then the house is no longer mine? I have to be, okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is let's just say that we say 12 months and you don't do it, if you don't refinance it, nothing's gonna happen unless Mr. Flores comes back and says that, nothing's gonna happen unless Mr. Flores comes back and says she should have done it within 12 months and she didn't do it. So now I want the house sold.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, well, if you say that the max amount usually is a year, then years, then fine, what we're requesting.
Okay, and if you're late on a payment, then are you all agreeing to sell the home? It doesn't mean you will. Y'all need, those are the things that y'all need to talk about. Because the thing is that if you don't make a payment, something has to happen or should happen. But if he doesn't want it to happen, it doesn't have to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, no, I don't think he wants that to happen. I just want, I mean, the home, I'm the parent, so we just wanted the home in my name, that was all.
Okay, well, it's just that if you're behind on the payment, it's gonna affect his credit. So that's why we usually will put on there, and the home has to be sold.
There was a section that said the wife is awarded the following property as a sole and separate property, and husband is divested of right, title, interest, and claim. And he's ordered to sign deeds or documents needed to transfer property listed below. So I just, we didn't get a lawyer. I understood that as long as he agreed that it would stay with me, it would stay with me. That's what I understood.
Okay, well, first of all, your petition for divorce is wrong, because you're putting on there that it's that
Ma'am,
you,
I'm sorry, like I said, we don't have a lawyer, and the people there at the windows, all they say is put whatever, we
Right.
can't tell you what to put, so.
they can't, and I can't either.
And they can't explain it either, so that's really hard. I mean,
The only
we-
thing is that
we
you
don't
are
want to
gonna have,
hire lawyers because we're not fighting for anything.
okay, Ms. Flores, listen, I understand that. I understand you don't want to hire a lawyer because you're not fighting for anything. I understand that. But it's also not I cannot ethically give you any legal advice. All I can tell you is that you're putting on here that you purchased that house before you got married. So you're asking for it to be your separate property. It's your separate property after the divorce, not prior to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it's your community property. And you actually have it on both, so I guess I could just cross out one.
Yeah, like I said, they told me fill out both, so, because when I tried to explain it, they didn't know what to tell me, so they said fill out both sections. So that's what,
Okay, and you also didn't fill out the debts.
there's no debt.
You all have no debts together?
Well, I mean, if the house is considered, I don't know.
Yes, the house is considered a debt. And you're not asking for a name change?
Yes, I did. I put
Okay,
it
you didn't petition for the name change.
Well, I saw that I did.
Okay, so that's on page 8. And then on page 8, you're also gonna have to put the date that you all separated and that he's responsible for the debts on those dates. And you're responsible for the debts also on 7H. So 7G and 7H.
On here, it says name change.
Well, that's not what's filed with the court.
Original
What I have
petition for
was,
divorce.
Ms. Flores, what I have was filed on December the 22nd. And I don't
This
have a
one-
name change on there.
Oh. Well, I don't know
When
why.
did you file that one?
The 20th, December 20th, 21.
So you have 2 cases?
I don't have one for December 22nd. Somebody put a different date.
No,
This is my
but
signature.
I see what you did. You filed 2 petition, you filed a petition for divorce. Okay, you do have a name change on this one. But it doesn't. Oh, I understand. On your divorce decree, I'm sorry, on your divorce decree for January that you filed on January 25th, 2022, you don't have the name change on there.
Okay.
And yeah. Okay, why don't you contact Gabriel because he got off, so I need him to get back on.
His battery died. He's at work. He
Okay.
didn't think he was gonna be present. He didn't think he had to be present. But you called him first, so he answered because you called him. I thought it was just gonna be me.
Okay, no. He's coming back on.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Flores, I need for you to remove your cap. Okay. You all, I think you all thought that you all did it very simple, but you didn't. And I still have other cases in front of me. So I know you all want this divorce to happen. So I'm gonna have you all, I'm gonna have to take some time with you all, which I shouldn't, because it's just not, I just shouldn't, because anyway, I'm gonna have you all return, you're gonna be logging in on Wednesday at 1:30. Wednesday at 1:30, and make some time to be on there, because I'm gonna have to walk you all through it without giving you any advice. But
Okay.
it's, you have it all wrong in here, so. Wednesday at 1:30, okay? You'll receive a link, a special link for that.
Okay.
All right? So we'll see you back here on Wednesday at 1:30.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Adler and Mr. Gonzalez, let me go ahead and recall your case. And that's CL 213946-I.
Morning, Judge.
Morning, Your
Good
Honor.
morning. Announcements?
This is Amadeo Adler for the respondent, State Farm Lloyd's.
Jose Gonzalez on behalf of plaintiffs, Judge. It's their motion.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So this is a motion to reconsider an umpire appointment. The insureds and the insurance company are participating in an appraisal to determine the amount of damage caused by a windstorm event. The insureds filed an umpire application here so that the court could appoint an umpire. The court appointed Jorge Ortegon on February 15th, and State Farm's moving for reconsideration of the appointment. The insurance policy at issue has very specific requirements about who qualifies as an umpire. Essentially, they have to be an engineer, an architect, an adjuster, and a public adjuster, or a contractor with experience and training in the estimating, construction, and repair of the type of property damage in dispute. So it's very specific. We looked around to see what Mr. Ortegon's background was. I see he's an attorney. I see he practices criminal defense, family law, immigration, personal injury law. I don't think he's a contractor. I don't know if he has any construction experience. I understand, I conferred with opposing counsel, and he told me that Mr. Ortegon has been appointed as an umpire before, but I'll submit to the court, I don't think that means that he's qualified. It just means that some other insurance company has a different policy that has less stringent requirements for who can serve as an umpire. I think, it has to be somebody who is a contractor who contracts to construct, repair, and estimate property damage. An attorney that dabbles in it part-time or in his spare time is not a contractor. This policy requires the umpire to have the same experience and expertise as the appraisers. So he really is a third appraiser. He's not somebody who's just being called upon to split the baby with the other appraisers. He's really supposed to have the same expertise. And so we really need somebody who's a contractor. I know the court's appointed a contractor as an umpire in other matters. So I know the court's familiar with contractors. If it's just a matter of getting the court to submit or appoint somebody other than who the parties have suggested, then that might be a good approach to resolve it. But as of right now, State Farm has an issue with this appointment.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, go ahead.
Good morning, Judge. Thank you. So we didn't file a reply, Judge, because this is frankly State Farm just, I guess, not agreeing with the court's, I believe, informed decision in appointing Jorge Ortegon. I can tell you, Judge, that back in 2012, my law firm was probably the first law firm to handle appraisals in Hidalgo County. So I have pretty good experience with appraisal, and better than that, with people that have served as umpires. So to go back to what Mr. Adler was saying, I disagree with his assessment of who is qualified to be an umpire. Of course, I believe that an umpire does need to have some experience and background. I don't agree that they specifically have to hold these titles, because the titles are nebulous, Judge. So for example, they threw out the word contractor. And for me, a contractor is kind of nebulous in terms of there are no real contractor licenses that you can get. I mean, I guess you could be a master contractor maybe, but so I'm not for or against Jorge Ortegon. He's never served as an umpire on any of my cases, but I do know that he has served as an umpire on a handful, if not more than that, of other appraisals. And those, Judge, he served as umpire, and as I understand it, those awards have never been challenged. And so I think that State Farm's argument is lacking a little bit in any kind of evidence to ask for the court's reconsideration, because they're just kind of vaguely alluding to that Mr. Ortegon may not be qualified, but I don't think that's enough. I agree with the court's decision, and I'm ready to move forward with appraisal. In fact, this has actually stalled the appraisal panel, Judge. Appraisal has not happened because of this motion, and I disagree with that as well, because the appraisal panel should be independent and free of any interference, but because of this motion, now it's stymied. Now appraisal is stuck in the mud. We haven't moved forward with appraisal. My homeowners are still sitting there with their house in disrepair. And for me, Judge, this is not against Mr. Adler, really. I know it's State Farm. They're just still dragging their feet. And here we are years later after the storm, and my clients are still not made whole. So, Judge, I'm with the court, whatever the court decides to do. I agree with Jorge Ortegon. I don't have a problem with him. I think that he's plenty qualified to be an umpire. I have no quarrels with him.
Okay, so the issue that we have right now is the fact that the policy that you're requesting relief from, I've read, does require for an engineer, architect, adjuster, public adjuster, or contractor. I wouldn't have had an issue with Mr. Ortegon. I do know that he has served in the past and assisted other courts that have much more experience than I do as an umpire. However, in order for the relief from this policy to actually stand and not be challenged, it has to meet those requirements. So I'm aware that in reading all of what Mr. Adler has put on the in his motion. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for the order on the motion to reconsider the umpire appointment to be submitted to me, and I'll go ahead and reappoint an umpire that does fit that criteria, so that any relief that the plaintiffs get, should there be relief, is not challenged due to the fact that they didn't meet the policy requirements. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you need a new order, or is the order that we submitted?
No,
okay?
It looks like this is sufficient. You filed it on February the 23rd. It's blank. I can fill it in.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time and your patience, Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Adler.
No, thank you, Judge. Be safe.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, likewise.
Bye.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, let's take up your last case. That was CL 164364-I, Portfolio Recovery versus Ileana Rocha. Name being called out 3 times and no response. Go ahead.
Benjamin Joseph Gutierrez on behalf of Portfolio Recovery. Your Honor, we're asking for general damages in the amount of $978.71 plus court costs. We're requesting the court take judicial notice of the entire file. Therein, the court will see that this has to do with the Citibank home line of credit ending in 7763, which was assigned to Portfolio Recovery later on. We're asking the court especially pay attention to the business records affidavit from a Miss Simone Perry. Therein, Miss Perry attests to the fact that there was his account, a delinquency in the account, and created grounds for the redress we're seeking. There's also different statements, including the last payment statement and a charge-off statement for the court's consideration. The defendant was personally served this suit. The defendant was served this suit via substitute service, and the petition did have discovery attachments, which I'm not aware of the defendant actually responding to, which did have admissions as well. The motion for default judgment has been on file for a while, and we also provided the court the related SAC information and non-military status for the court's consideration. We're requesting for judgment accordingly.
Okay, the court is taking judicial notice of all the documents in the court's files, specifically the return of service that has been on file with the court since January 5th, 2017. No response on behalf of the defendant has been filed. The documents have been on file with the court for the required amount of time. And therefore, the court is granting the plaintiff's motion for default judgment and the relief as requested and put on the record. I'll ask for the order that was filed back on December 26, 2018 to be submitted to the court.
That's via email, Your Honor?
No, my coordinator will request it from the clerk.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything else?
That's all I had, and I greatly appreciate the court's consideration earlier and helping me out.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, CL 220580-I, Toldos LLC versus Stephen Miles Mendoza. Mr. Guerra.
Yes, Juan Angel Guerra, Your Honor.
Okay, and was the defendant served?
Yes, I believe the attorney was present on the other time, the last hearing, Your Honor.
Who was the attorney of record?
Aurelio something Garza. I don't remember his name, but I know he appeared.
Okay, and he never filed well, it looks like he didn't file an answer.
He did appear. He just said that he was going to try to see if we could work it out. I showed him that, that he couldn't, his client was pretty much, it was a tax sale and that he's already past the redemption period. He was going to check on that, but I haven't heard from him.
Okay, so he never filed a notice of appearance. He didn't file a written answer. He showed up back on March 7th, but we haven't heard from him today. So what do you want to do?
Your Honor,
Well, I want to.
Go ahead.
it's a correction, Judge. It was Attorney Dennis Ramirez.
Okay. So Mr. Ramirez has not shown up today. And
Judge, I'd like to, I'm sorry. The temporary orders that there's the affidavit and I have my client on will testify. Otherwise, the affidavit suffices that she is a legitimate owner. It's a vacant property. It's not, nobody's leaving, nobody's being kicked out. It's just a vacant lot. And that the injunction basically keeps him claiming that he is the owner of that property. And so every time that my client goes there, he goes and bothers them. They can't even clean the lots. So he hasn't done that. He's abide by the order. So that if you go ahead and turn it into an injunction, and then if the attorney wants to go ahead, he can always file a motion to either reconsider or to set aside the injunction.
Okay, we're going to take a brief 5-minute break and I'll ask my staff to get a hold of Mr. Ramirez and then we'll see. So we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye. Okay, la setting. Did you give her the Zoom?
Okay, Ms. Flores, are you ready?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so let me recall CL 22-0580-I, Toldos LLC versus Stephen Miles Mendoza.
The host is not online.
Hey, Mr. Ramirez, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Guerra is also present. And Mr. Ramirez, have you all had an opportunity to discuss this?
Your Honor, no, not since the last time, and I don't know why, and I apologize, it's not on my docket this morning. I had it calendared for some reason on the 24th. I know we were here a week or two ago. My client, I had just accepted service on behalf of my client, and Mr. Guerra and I had conferred that day, and we were in the process of getting some documentation with respect to the sale, when it happened, and when the initial issues came up. So my announcement would be today, Judge. First of all, my apologies to the court for not having it on my calendar, but second of all, that we do need some additional time, and I have no problem with the current TRO in place.
Okay, well, are you going to be filing a written answer? Because I don't have the service on file. First, also, the service hasn't been e-filed. The service of return has not been e-filed. And I don't have any written pleadings on behalf of the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor, I will get that on file.
All right, so you will be staying on this case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Well,
I don't have a problem, Judge, as long as the TRO stays in place and that he doesn't bother my clients or anybody that is on that empty lot or vacant lot.
Right.
Of which he has been staying away, Your Honor.
Okay, give me one moment. All right, then let's just go ahead and come back on April the 4th at 11 a.m.
And that'll be for the injunction hearing, Your Honor?
Yes, so I'm gonna extend the TRO.
My agreement. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor, nothing further this time.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. Y'all have a good day. Okay, in F 0708-19-9, in the matter of the marriage of Yvette Loredo and Felix Alonso, no one has appeared. Therefore, go ahead and set that for on the drop docket. And then F 2748-21-9, in the matter of the marriage of Christian, Christian Perez versus Jessica Perez. Did anyone call in on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, set that for the drop docket. And in CL 164601-I, Midland Funding versus Michael Rodriguez. Did anybody call in on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, set that for the drop docket. CL 210026-I, Bank of America versus Joanna Gonzalez. Did anybody call in on that?
No, ma'am.
All right, set that for the drop docket. Okay, that concludes this morning's cases.